The name of this chapter is Avoid the Superficial at All Costs.
Okay, all my influencers out there, famous and non-famous, I have an exercise for you. For those that want to become actors, follow me. I want you to take a deep breath. You ready? Exhale and repeat these words. Fame is not the craft. Again, fame is not the craft.
But it was also a time when in the late 70s, early 80s, dangerous though it was, there was this sense that the competition wasn't so stiff that you shouldn't even bother trying. Whereas nowadays people can create celebrity without ever doing much besides rolling a phone on themselves. And I don't look at that as a negative thing. I just look at it as more like the challenge for individuation is being upped, because hopefully the grosser part of our of the youth of, let's just call it America for locality's sake, is going to say, yeah, but that's not my thing. I want to go do something. I want to make something. I want to build something. I want to educate.
I want to go out and go touch grass. How about that? Let's hear some more.
Myself, and I want to have more inputs, so whatever my output isn't just a self-aggrandizing kind of influencer type thing. When I hear people talk about, oh, the stars of the future are going to be influencers, I go, I don't know what world you're living into, but I think that is absolute horseshit.
Oh. Uh-huh. Fighting words for some people.
Yeah, I wanted you to talk about influencers because I don't get it to a certain level. Now, I understand an influencer when they have something to say, and they're interesting and they have a point of view and all of that, but many don't. And they're...
Many don't. Many don't.
And it's back to the old famous because they're famous. But it interests me that many of them have 1 million followers, etc. Well, that's a lot of people. Now, what does it mean to be a follower? And, it's not like you're paying $100 a month to be a follower. And so it's not hard to be a follower. And so...
That's a good question. And a good idea. Pay to be a follower. I think they already have that already. It's on YouTube. It's called Members.
I think the interesting question is, when is an influencer about novelty? What is it that gets them on the radar screen of 1 million people? And then the question is, what contribution are they going to make to the lives of those 1 million people going forward? And they're very different questions. And the ability to do those things are quite different.
Sure. Well, when you're the first of a generation's version of This Is Ours, like my kids know that we didn't have influencers per se. We had Ronald Reagan, who was in politics and...
Did you just say Ronald Reagan for real, bro? Ronald Reagan, man. They had to be... Come on, man. There was rock stars back then, Robert. There was rock stars back then. You had rock stars. Come on now. Probably had Elvis back then, too. And a whole bunch of jazz musicians. Ronald Reagan, really?
On TV and doing whatever General Electric or Westinghouse commercials, and was an actor of some note. But then you have like the first I was listening to someone who had started a podcast when it was still on MySpace, like back in the turn, and there's something about this 2006, 7, 8, 9. There's something about that era that, because we were just in it, and you know how it always feels like 2009 was 10 years ago?
Yeah.
And he actually said MySpace. That's wild. Some of y'all don't even know what MySpace is. You're probably too young, but yeah, MySpace was big.
Right.
Or it's 5 years, or whatever it was. It's like, no, it's actually, we're getting a little longer in the tooth. That was a while ago. This whole phenomenon, that the advent of that, sometimes it's who is luck, maybe, first in the door to do it. Joe Rogan was doing it before it was cool, and he's kind of got his whole own space now. But again, like my now 13-year-old son, Exton, he kind of got caught up in this whole influencer thing. And next thing you know, it's like, hey, if you like the way I'm playing this video game, do you want to send me a donation? And really, it becomes a religion.
Yep.
So there's something.
That's wild that he said that. That is wild that he said that. That's why, hey, if you want to send me a donation, I mean, this channel is not monetized yet, but hey, you feel me? Like, holla at me. I'm not gonna say no to donations.
The influencers today are almost like the evangelical hucksters of the information age. At the same token, it's different because we're playing in this new territory. And so it's a little bit of a frontier, and I don't really have a judgment on it. I also know when I'm promoting a film now, I've gotten to know a few of these influencers, and I find them, many of them, grounded, interesting,
Thoughtful, yeah.
accomplished, cool people. And then you have, all the associated jive that's always around.
But you have a vast following online.
Honestly, Robert is being real careful with his words. I mean, he did say horse shit earlier, but right now he's being a little bit too nice. Too nice.
How do you think about that audience and fans versus the audience that sees you in the theater versus how do they intersect, or do you think of them differently?
I'm a little bit of a blinders guy because I try, this might be the only thing I say that's truly worthwhile. I try not to get too deep down any rabbit hole. I don't wish to be consumed. I am at essence still a consumer that is also a contributor. And whatever influence I have, I know, like, people say, Robert, they just love it when you're just kind of like seeming off the cuff and they're getting a glimpse into your life. And I go, but I'd be manufacturing that aspect for them. So it's BS. I like things that feel a little more prepared. I always like the forethought that goes even into a post. I love a birthday card that is something really specific to the person. I love.
Doesn't sound like he would go do like a live stream then. Yeah, live streaming is big in social media. Yeah, this video is called The Architecture of a Life, a deep dive with Robert Downey Jr. And this topic is social media, children, and technology. And why I'm on this topic is because this episode, this chapter, it's not going to just be one episode. It's called Avoiding the Superficial. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think I already told you that on the intro. So I don't even know why I'm telling you that again. But anyway, I might cut this or I might just not cut it. But I got, I'm excited about this because it's getting to a point where actors, rappers, singers, and as you see now, there's AI, everything. So it's like, how can I be famous? Not how can I learn how to be a great actor and contribute to the, to the art form and the craft, but how can I be famous? That's what it's coming down to. And I try to avoid the whole superficial thing at all costs, because that's what's going to happen to, I'm not saying it's going to happen to everybody coming up in this information age, but it's going to happen to a lot of people. They're not even going to understand what the craft is, and they're not going to think that they need to. They're going to think that all they need to do is find out how to be famous, rich and famous. at all costs to them. That's what they, you know what I'm saying? Like a literal get famous. I don't even know if they even want to get rich no more. Like get famous or die trying. Like that's what it's starting to look like for some of them. You know what I'm saying? Now some actually do want to learn the craft of acting, and yeah, it's for those, including myself, we have to make sure that we don't get caught up in the superficial, in the horse ish. You know what I mean? I just play this.
People who still write letters on a typewriter, but I also know where we're at, and I remember distinctly Jon Favreau when we brought the teaser for Iron Man to Comic-Con, which was relatively new, and he was tweeting on stage, and I saw the audience. I saw, oh, this is the new hue where the audience is going to feel like they're on the steering committee of this thing that's kind of Kevin Feige's vision and blah, 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 blah. And you go, okay, so that's the new landscape in part. Oppenheimer was the opposite of that. Senior, to me, was the antithesis of that, because I had to almost trick myself into doing something truly organic and deeply personal while knowing that it was ultimately going to be viewed and would be there as an item for consumption on Netflix. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of trippy new directions. And I think as someone who's always been at the bleeding edge of tech, always almost been called in to do triage.
You know, it's kind of funny watching him talk about this when Iron Man, the character, is all about tech. All about tech.
On things that maybe were going too far afield, or were trying to collect and wrangle all of these emerging tech phenomena.
I'm just...
All right, we can stop right there.